I know I can be what I wanna be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I wanna be. I know I can.
I know I can
Be what I wanna be.
be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at it,
I'll be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna be.
Be boys and girls, listen up. You can be anything in the world, and God we trust. An architect, doctor, maybe an actress, but nothing comes easy. It takes much practice. Like I met a woman who's becoming a star. She was very beautiful, leaving people in awe. Singing songs, Lena Horne, but the younger version hung with the wrong person. Got her strung on that. Sniffing up drugs, all in her nose. Could have died so young, now looks
Ugly and old.
Cause now when she reaches for hugs, people hold their breath. Cause she smells of corrosion and death. Watch the company you keep and the crowd you bring. Cause they came to do drugs.
And you came to sing.
So if you're gonna be the best, I'ma tell you how. Put your hand in the air and take the vow. I know I can.
I know I can.
Be what I wanna be.
Be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at
I'll
it,
be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna be.
I know I can. I know I can. Be what I wanna be. Be what I wanna be. If I work hard at it, if I work hard at it, I'll be where I wanna be. I'll be where I wanna be.
Be boys and girls, listen again. This is for grown-looking girls who's only 10. The ones who watch videos and do what they see. It's cute as
Do
can
what
be.
they
Up in the club
see.
with fake ID.
Stop copying me.
With HIV.
All right?
You can host a TV
Stop
like
copying
Oprah
me.
Winfrey. Whatever you
Stop
decide,
doing
you
what
some
you
lady.
see.
Rapist, so act your age. Don't
Act
pretend
your
to be older than
age.
you are.
Don't
Give
pretend to
yourself
be
time
older
grow.
than you
thinking
are.
You can give your wealth, but so young boys, you can use a lot of help, you know. You're thinking life's all about smoking and ice. You don't want to be my age and can't read and
Yo.
write. Begging different women for a place to sleep.
Yo.
at night. Smart boys turn them in and do whatever they wish. If you believe you can achieve, then say it like this.
I know I
I
can
know I can.
be what I wanna be.
Be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at it,
I'll be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna be.
I know I can
I know I can. Be what I wanna be.
be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at it,
I'll be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna be.
Before we came to this
Listen.
country, we were kings and queens.
Kings
never
and
pork
queens.
monkeys. There was empires in Africa called Kush.
Kush.
Timbuktu, where every race
I was
came
just
to get
talking
hooked.
about
They learned from
Corinthians
black
and
teachers
Kush.
Who taught Greeks and Romans, Asian Arabs, and gave them gold. When gold was converted to money, it all changed. Money then became empowerment for Europeans.
They
The Persian
fooled you with
military
paper,
invaded.
Papa.
heard
They
about the
fooled
gold,
you
the
with
teachings and everything
paper.
sacred. Africa was almost robbed naked. Slavery was money, so they began making slave ships. Egypt was the place that
Slavery
Alexander the Great went.
was
People were shocked
money.
at the mountains with
Slavery
black faces.
was
Shot up their
money.
nose to impose what basically
Still goes on today. You see, if the youth is told the truth.
Can grow. They'll learn to survive
Let
until
them
they
grow.
gain control. Nobody says you have
You
to
don't have to be gangsters, hoes.
Learn more, change the globe.
Read
Get
more.
children, do your
Change
thing.
the globe.
Hold your head up, little man, you're a king. Young princess, when you get your wedding ring, your man is saying, she's my queen.
I know I can
I know I can.
be what I wanna be.
Be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at it,
I'll be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna be.
I know I can
I know I can.
be what I wanna be.
Be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it,
If I work hard at it,
I'll be where I wanna be.
I'll be where I wanna
I'll be where I wanna be. Wow. That's Nas for you. Wow. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. You understand? So my name is Diana. I'm the host of this lovely, lovely indie podcast show. Yay! Yay. So music is like air to me. I need music. You know, that's it. You heard the words. You know what I mean? And for me, my rappers are poets. And for me, rappers are like prophets. A lot of Nas's songs have actually came true. For example, If I Ruled the World. If I Ruled the World was made at a time where marijuana, weed, was illegal. And those of us at that time, we were just like, damn, it's not that bad. We were wishing. We were wishing for a time where we could smoke in peace. And I'll never forget where I was when I heard if I ruled the world. Um, you know, I had a rough upbringing, and my mom constantly kicked me out and stuff. And so one time I was on Buena Vista BVA here in Yonkers, and I'm chilling on the roof, and I'm smoking a cigarette at that time. Like, damn, why my life has to be this way? What have I done? You know what I mean? Like, why am I constantly getting in trouble, getting kicked out, all these horrible things? And then that song came up. If I ruled the world, I would free all my sons. So I think I was like 14 or 15 around the time. And then, life happened. And slowly but surely, as life was lifing, I was removing myself from the hood part of Yonkers, whether it be removing myself from certain people, certain places, things like that. So for me, I feel like that was a fail. You know, you could move wherever you want to, but always be proud of where you come from. Don't be a stranger to the hometown that you lived in. Regardless of how horrible your upbringing was, always make it a point to come back to your hometown, because what happens is then you forget who you are. You forget who you are, like happened to me, and life continues to life. So throughout the years after my baptism, life was lifing, and I somehow ended up back in the hood I came from, like right in the hood I came from. Let's give a shout out to my friends on Elm Street and Yonkers and Walnut. I'm going to be making my way back home, and we'll probably record from out there. I've been doing my thing. Instagram is the T channel, so keep up to date with my madness there. I like to be a little bit more professional on Facebook and YouTube, just because I feel like Facebook is more geared to people like me, and so is YouTube. The Instagram channel is for the younger generation, so I act differently on Instagram than what I do on Facebook and YouTube. All right. So the purpose of this podcast today is to teach you Ebonics. Yay! Ebonics is a language out here, guys. Ebonics. Yay! And I was inspired because I was checking the stats, the podcast stats, and somebody in Russia is listening to my madness. Somebody in Russia right now is listening to my madness, and that's where I'm grateful, because the reason why I share my story so openly is because I want somebody to hear me and understand me and what I have been through. And so the Vibe podcast also has a page on Indiegogo, because the ultimate goal here is to get this story on the big screen. You have to see what I have seen. In my 44 years of life, you have to see what I have seen. And where I'm at right now is I need to get up out of here. It is not safe for me. Me, cocaine cowboy, princesa de papa, me, single woman, single mother, is not safe. It's not safe. So for my safety, right, because I'm not a snitch, the cops won't do nothing for me, but they will ensure my safety. And so recently, when I discovered about the cannabis realm engagement with police, I lost it. I lost it because that's one of our rules. You do not talk to police. You can have a pleasant conversation with an officer without revealing any information, because we are protected by the Fifth Amendment. It is not nobody's business. You do not have to repeat nobody's business, not even your own. So remember the Fifth Amendment. Maybe I'll attach the US Constitution here, because people are not aware of their rights here in Yonkers and the Bronx and possibly even New York State. People are not aware of their rights, and they automatically assume that I am not aware of my rights. And they could know because they be looking at my pages, so they know that I'm all about books. I stay saying that I'm currently studying humanitarian law. And after I'm done with humanitarian law, it's going to be immigration law. And then I'm going to close the whole deal with criminal law, defense. I'm defending these thugs. Yay! I'm defending these thugs. But first, I want to do the humanitarian part, because that comes first. You need to understand that before anything, you are a human being. And with that comes so much, right? And then immigration law. I have challenges with the way this country operates. And what that means is that I want to study, because in my Native American studies, I have come to learn that 14 states actually belonged to Mexico. So if 14 states belong to Mexico, why are they having immigration challenges when they are originally from the United States? So now it's up to you to determine what tribe you come from. Aztec, Navajo, Inca. You know what I mean? You got to determine that, and then research for yourself. Are there any reservations for me and my family? Are there any benefits for me and my family? You know what I mean? Because currently, while I appreciate all of the benefits that the city of Yonkers has to offer me, it is only because I'm a citizen. So we have a lot of immigrants suffering at this time. And these immigrants are actually indigenous to the United States. So I believe that they have some rights and or benefits that are actually due to them. And we have to find out to make sure that the indigenous people of the United States are taken care of. You will not get treated like an immigrant. That's not right. That's wrong. That's wrong out here. But I have to study. And then criminal law has always been my thing. Always been my thing. When I was a little girl, you asked me what I wanted to be. It was a criminal attorney. I don't know why. I always like to protect the alleged bad guys. These gangster movies that I love to watch, I really can't watch the ending. I'll be like, all right, well, that's it. I can't watch the bad guys lose. That's just me. And so I was inspired to create this podcast episode because I have somebody out in Russia listening to my madness, and I wonder if this person even understands what I'm saying, because some of my language includes Ebonics. So what is Ebonics? Let's look it up. So Ebonics was actually a term that was created in 1973 by a group of black scholars who disapproved of the negative terms being used to describe their type of language. So we definitely do have a lot of Ebonic language in the hood. I haven't had any challenges with black people, I'm sorry. So I'm not going to go there. But unfortunately, people of my own community have language barriers. So they'll speak in a lot of Ebonics. Right now is capping, one of them. Very stupid, because I need to know who is the inventor of these stupid ass languages. Because the people in my community, these Puerto Ricans from New York, they don't speak Spanish. Majority of them don't speak Spanish, and I don't fault you there. I'm not gonna be the one to be like, oh, ella no sabe hablar español. Da, da, da. I'm not that kind of person. If I know that you don't speak Spanish, I'm going to speak to you in English. But you guys got to remember that while life was lifing, I actually went to school. I actually went to college and stuff like that. So when I was a child, when we moved back to the United States from Puerto Rico, I did not speak English. Nope. So my mother put me in ESL. English is a second language. And there I learned to speak and write English. Okay? But then throughout the years, when I went back to college, I took English 1 and 2. I took basic writing. I took a liberal arts major, so it includes a lot. A lot. Right? So what that does, though, it enhances your verbal skills in the same way. Just like how they create these slang words, that's the same way with books, you see. And I think of Eminem, the rapper Eminem. So the rapper Eminem actually read a dictionary. That was his thing. And why you think he could rap so good? Because he enhanced his language skills with reading, through reading books. And that's something that I did too. To continue speaking Spanish the way that I do, what I used to do when I was little, I would read the newspaper, the Spanish, el vocero, el diario, cualquiera. I would read it out loud, because there's a difference when you read to yourself versus an audiobook and reading out loud. I encourage people that struggle with language, verbal skills, I encourage you to read out loud. Why? Because you're enhancing, you're using your mouth, you're using your vocal cords, your palate. You are enhancing your language when you read out loud. Okay? So now we have some Ebonic language to introduce to my listener in Russia. And if you know me, if you've been watching, you know that I hate some things. I hate hoes. I hate thoughts. I hate bird heads. I hate chicken heads. And I don't like old players. Old players, man, disgusting. So what is a thought? Well, like I said in a previous episode, I really don't know what the acronym means, like the THOT. I don't know what that means. But what a thought is worse than a hoe, is worse than a whore. Because at least hoes get money. Hoes pay bills. Hoes have houses. Hoes have cars. Hoes stack money. All right, but not thoughts. Thoughts are usually uneducated sluts. They don't care about their hygiene, you know, and because I study the brain, right? Because I study the brain, when you don't care about your hygiene, that's a sign of some form of trauma, PTSD. And the reason how I know I can determine is because I think of myself, I think of my father, and I think of my beloved ex. Okay. As I move along in this podcast, you're going to get to know a little bit more about inspirational people in my life. All right. So, my father was a veteran. My father was drafted from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico and sent to Korea, where he was not allowed to speak the language, the Spanish language. He was not allowed to show the flag, the Puerto Rican flag. This is the very reason why we take pride in showing our flag, is because once upon a time, we wasn't allowed to. All right? So my father wasn't allowed to show the flag or speak his language, but he had to kill people. He had to kill people, otherwise he would be killed. So this is very traumatic for a young man. All right. So when that kind of trauma hits, right, you get affected in a way that it affects your language skills like it did me. All you care about, you become kind of like an animal. Shit, shower, shave, fuck. Routine. Shit, shower, shave, fuck. Shit, shower, shave, fuck. So that is very, that's bad. That's indicative of trauma, PTSD, right? But what these old players do is they okay that behavior because historically the man has been the conquistador. So historically, the man used to look good with a whole bunch of women, right? And then how I know this might be like a mental illness is okay, so now I have facts. Now I'm going to give you biblical. So if you look to the Muslim religion, the Prophet Muhammad was married to his first wife, Khadijah, for 25 years. So he was only married to her only. But if you know the Muslim religion, they are allowed up to 4 wives now. So after Khadijah passed away, that's when Muhammad then took in multiple wives, even younger wives. So that there tells me there must have been some trauma after Khadijah's passing. Because if polygamy was always allowed, why he didn't have multiple wives with Khadijah? That's because Khadijah was the love of his life. That's why. Every man has a love, one love. And when that shit don't work out, they gone. They gone. And they could be the nicest, most professional, even down to a prophet. But once they lose their love, their true love, they gone. And it's hard to get that back. So the way that a man thinks, heterosexual male, is very different than how we think, heterosexual female. Right? So the old players tend to think that that's cool and everything, but they look... I'm going to try to see if I can put a picture here of Jerome, the character Jerome from the show Martin. Like, you just looking like a fool, man. You just looking like nobody told you. Nobody told you. And even if you do tell them, they don't understand. That is a lifestyle for them. So that's where I'd be like, all right, I wish you the best, because that lifestyle is not for me. You're not going to play me. I'm the one and only. If you want to refer to me like Khadijah, then call me Khadijah, because it's just going to be me. Only me. You understand? I'm numero uno or nada. Nada. Okay? And so what happens is I no longer want to deal with these players, and then their lives, leave that for the books. So me personally, if you don't have to be a player, don't do it, especially in 2025. That looks so disgusting. And then what these old players do, because people my age, we're not going to tolerate your shit. I just sent an email to the cannabis realm. I just sent an email to the cannabis realm like, if you don't stop what you're doing, I'm going to send you dirty cops once a month because I don't give a fuck about you. You understand me? So, yeah, so they usually then go for the younger females because the females tend to be stupid and they fall. They fall for that shit. They fall for that character Jerome. They fall for that shit. So again, that's where I wish them the best, but it usually don't turn out that way. So what, old players and players, what do you gain by acting that way? What do you gain? Because if it's just to bust a nut, baby, I got the magic hands. I don't need that. I don't need that. And then if I really want, Amazon.com has them for $10. So, I don't need what comes with the old player. I don't need that shit at all. Not in 2025. Where we got things, So that's kind of disgusting. What do you gain out of being a player or even an old player, which is worse? And I pray that that was not my father. But I feel like my father probably was an old player. Disgusting. Disgusting. All right? So another word that we use in the hood is chicken heads. Chicken heads and bird heads. All right? So that's another reason why I have to get up out of Yonkers, because there are so many chicken heads and there are so many bird heads. What is a chicken head? A chicken head, to be honest, is more advanced than a bird head. A chicken head can attain a job. A chicken head can get promoted. So you will have chicken heads that are supervisors, managers, teachers, office admin, chicken heads. And what makes them a chicken head? Well, a chicken head is really just a proud slut. Like, these are the females that you will see twerking in public, not at the club. These are the BBL type of females, but they live in the hood. A chicken head can also be a man too. I've seen that. Men, chicken heads. These are people that they choose knowingly. Knowingly. They knowingly cluck, 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 cluck. They knowingly choose that lifestyle. And that chicken head old player is one. Okay? Because it's a lifestyle that they choose. But a bird head, yo, that's worse. That is worse. A bird head is the same as a thought, okay? Because the bird chooses not to educate themselves. So usually these bird heads are very quiet, but they don't have no education. The bird heads are usually like copycats. So these are people to stay away from. You stay away from thoughts. You stay away from bird heads out here, because they serve no purpose. They usually have a musty scent to them. That's also indicative of some form of trauma. They fuck for the fuck of it, which is also indicative of some sort of trauma. But they primarily live in the hood with no money. No money. no, they can't comprehend to take some classes and go to school. At least a chicken head will. A chicken head, I've seen that. A chicken head will go to college. But a bird head can't even think to educate themselves. So they probably never finish school or nothing. They fuck for the fuck of it. And you can see the disgustingness in their face. They usually thieves. They will take your man. They will take your money. They will steal from you. So this is all the reasons why I don't engage with thoughts, bird heads, chicken heads, and old players. All right? So I hope that my listener from Russia got some new language skills by listening to me. I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for listening. And part of the podcast will include vlogging. So let me see. There's a place called the Russian Tea Room in New York City. If it's still there, then I'm going to go on behalf of my listener. Oh, yeah. So the Russian Tea Room is in New York City. Founded by the Russian Imperial Ballet in 1926. The Russian Tea Room quickly became a cultural hotspot frequented by artists, intellectuals, and celebrities. Woohoo! It says here, over the decades, our establishment has stood as a beacon, for refined indulgence and timeless sophistication. Yay! So they have afternoon tea. This is wonderful. Yay, because a lot of places closed during the pandemic. But I remember when I used to work out there, I used to pass by the Russian Tea Room. So the Russian Tea Room is located on 57th Street. All right? So I'll be vlogging from there. All right? This is wonderful. I'm going to put the link with this episode. Peace. Enjoy the vibe.